Yo, Mario, bless that beat, bless that beat.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, and welcome. Welcome. Let's get going. Welcome, everybody, to Advanced Kingdom. It's Evening Markets, and I'm your coach, Coach Tim. Excited to be on tonight as we are continuing our plow in the industry. Looking for setups on Nikai tonight, and also looking to discuss some other things that are pertinent to your growth and development. As we do always, we want to welcome everyone. Let's welcome in the Holy Spirit through prayer. Father, we thank you tonight. Another night and opportunity to glorify your name, to give your name praise, to continue our assignment in the industry. We know that the industry has been given into our hands, and we thank you for that. We enter into tonight's segment with the Spirit of God in the room, and welcome you, the Spirit of God in this endeavor. You said, lean not to our own understanding, but in all our ways. We know all of our ways includes our charting, includes what we do in the industry. Acknowledge you, and you will direct our path. We're asking for that direction tonight. We're asking for the spirit of wisdom, the spirit of understanding to rest in this community tonight, that we may be able to progress and flourish, that we will be able to multiply according to the mandate that you have given to us. And we can carry kingdom, that your kingdom will be glorified. And for this, we give you praise, honor, and glory. No one else deserves it. It's all yours in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, everyone. Let's see who we have on tonight. Good evening. We see Judy's here. Good evening, Judy. Diana is here. Good evening, Diana. Paula is here. Good evening. Dr. Tora, good evening. Lasagna's here. Good evening. Dr. Ann is here. Good evening. And it's good to see you all. As you come on, say good evening. Let's roll. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. So let's get to charting. We're looking at Nikkei. What's Nikkei doing? I'm actually in a Nikkei position right now, just based on 7 o'clock. And you know how we do. It's like a 1-2 with Nikkei, and it's been really paying us out for the last couple weeks. So we appreciate that. Yeah, that's my current position. At 7 o'clock started to bleed off, and I got in on that sell down just a few minutes ago, just taking a look at the chart and getting into this sell. We'll go over why that makes sense. Did anybody else take a look at it and get into this sell down? And we'll look at to see what the 8 o'clock is going to bring and if there's any more sales here. But this is the current position that we're in on Nikkei. I got two contracts on and just looking for $1,000 tonight. Good evening, Dr. Lakeisha. Good evening, Jeremy. Good to see you both. All right. So let's do our top-down analysis. I'm actually going to close out of this one. Actually, let me move this down. What do I want to do here? I want to leave this position. I'm just going to move to break even. We'll move it there. All right, and let's talk about it, why we like this one. Yeah, let's get some charting in. Did anybody else take a look at that 7 o'clock candle and see the short and decide to jump in? I want to close this one out. Above this, or let me move it to profit. A little bit in profit, just in case he wants to pull back on me while I'm trying to discuss. Can't pay attention to it. We may get a retracement on this, and I'll show you why. But let's do it. All right, so let's go down to do our top down thing. We know where we are at. Actually, let me hide this just because I don't want that on the screen while I'm trying to chart with you. So I'm going to go to settings, go to positions, uncheck that, and it should disappear, and it didn't. Go to settings, click that. Here it is, orders. Oh, that didn't do it either. Let's see, here it is. Orders, no, that's not going to do it either, huh? That's okay. Positions, there it is. Positions and orders. All right, just wanted to get that off the chart. Still in the trade, but I just wanted to get it out the chart. All right, so looking at where we're at right now with Nikkei, we're going to do our top-down analysis. If you think that, Tim, why do you always do your top-down analysis? Because we always do the top-down analysis. Every time you approach it, you want to see where you're at in space. You don't always have to do it, but it's good to get in the habit of doing it. But we know the month was here, and it's good just to come to know exactly what's what. We know the month was here. We know that day that it pushed down at the beginning of August, pushed that. We know that that's the, the monthly 50, right? That's the monthly 50 this way. Yeah, that's the monthly 50 right there. Sitting right there. I added the 21 just because everybody uses that. So I added the 21, but the red is the 50. All right, then we know that on the weekly, that was the 200, right? So we know that was the 200. And is the weekly giving us anything? Not yet, but that's going to change. We know we had the weekly divergence right there that sent it down to the monthly 50. So that regular divergence sent it down and popped back up. What's interesting to me is that it created a lower high, right, off of that retest. So I'm thinking sales for the near future off of this lower high that was created. All right, so with that lower high, I'm thinking sales. All right, let's push on. All right, go down to the day, and I'm going to move through this pretty quickly because all of this says sales, and we've been saying sales for a while, even though there's some other stuff that we've been catching on this. Let me take this off. And good to see everybody. Glad you are all here. Tisha is joining us. Glad you're all here. Yeah, so that has potential right now. We created this lower high, so potential for us coming up hitting this level is a possibility. That's right around that 50. Right now we're getting rejection off of the daily 21, but the daily 50 could be a target. All right, so we know that we can come up. Will that come up today? No, it won't. But could it come up? Yeah, anything's possible. All right, so we see that we're in this down pattern. We introduced a lower high. As soon as we did that, a lower low, right? No, a higher low. We introduced that here. As soon as we did that, our mind started to shift a little bit. Good evening, Priscilla. Our mind started to shift a little bit. You know, Priscilla, I would love to get you on one of our devotions as well. I know you have a platform you've been operating in, so would love to get you to do one of our devotions. To consider it. I like to ask people in public. You get a better chance of them saying yes. All right. So we have right now this kind of a double top, it's sort of a look, but you know, this lower high sort of like, okay, I don't know at this point. Is that going to be something? All right, so something to consider is the day. All right, so what's interesting to me is when we go to the 8 hour, and we're kind of a little ways away from this, but it's still interesting. And when we look here at the pull up, we're starting to get those tweezer tops here, which is interesting just because we have, if we stretch that to the left, we have clear levels of resistance and support when we stretch that to the left. Right, so that has been pivot point right here. So that's interesting when we get to the 8 hour. Could that potentially be a lower high being created right there? Yeah, I better get a yes that way. Yeah. So there's that. There is that. All right, now working ourselves down. Remember, we're doing a top-down analysis. We're starting to come down a little bit more. And we're going to jump to the 4 hour. And this is where I really start seeing the sell with the divergence that's here. So we have a clear lower high, or yeah, lower high. Zoom into this. I want you to see it. All right, so you see the high and then the higher high. We have to surge up, high, higher high. One of that at a level of support, TDI gave us on that 4 hour divergence, regular divergence. So it's a higher, it's a high and then a lower high. So that's regular divergence and it's touching the bands. So that says that we're going to get some kind of retracement, but it's regular. So we know that that regular divergence isn't always going to play out, you know, a long period of time. All right, but look how high it is. You know, that's at some point it's going to be down here. You know, 4 hours. Could we be in this for 4 hours? That would be nice. That's how I talk to it. It's like, that could be nice. You know, even a play down to the 21, that would be nice. The 4 hour 21, because that's where it's finding support right now. And that's where we talk about moving averages being dynamic support, is that's where it's finding support. So we do have a case for where price could potentially go. Going from the month to the 4 hour, it's giving us a case. So hopefully everybody can see that case that's being presented. Now, the other case that's being presented here, which is a little ways away, but when we were talking about that lower or that higher high being created, we found support in here. We found support at this level. And then when we found that support and price pushed up, it retested this level of resistance over here, support right here. It broke through that and used that as that resistance. It broke through and then it retested that as support, right? So that has us thinking long. The only reason why we're not in it right now is because we haven't broke this level. This level has clearly acted as resistance. And I think, by the end, when we wake up tomorrow morning, there's a good chance that we'll probably see price breaking through the London session. And we may see that Friday rally and start to come up to that trend line that we identified. This trend line that we identified here, we do see this pattern, this W pattern forming. We broke through it, that we could start coming up and hitting that. So this sell off for the 8 o'clock hour is just a temporary move that, the pattern right now looks like we're going to come up and start testing this area. And, Friday rallies are common. That looks like something that could happen, but we want to see that regular divergence play out first. So we've passed the 50. Our next target is the 21. We'll see if it plays out to that. All right, jumping down to the hour. The hour is now, the bands are moving up and we're starting to get into that buy territory. One of the things that 8 o'clock is doing, as 8 o'clock begins to push down, we're going to see if it comes to that level of support. That's past our target. And so hopefully we don't turn around here. I move my stop to break even just because on the hour, what we can see is that this has been an important area. And all we're doing is trying to build a case. We're not saying where price is going. We're just building a case for our trade. All right, but bands are low. We turn on the moving averages. That 21 moving averages is where we're getting rejection right now. All right. So this is all trade talk. If you're new to the chat and whatnot, and you're watching this is trade talk. You'll get used to it. It's another language, but the more that you use it, the more easier it'll get. I remember when it was foreign to me. And it's like that consistency that we were talking about more, because we are consistent with it and show up with determination, that, those languages become common. Now we just speak trade talk. It's just trade talk that we're talking right now, trying to get this sell in and seeing if it'll go down here before turning around back up. So we're in that critical area to see if we're going to get the support here and push up. Right now, we're believing that we're getting the push down, but we're getting close. We're getting close. All right, 30-minute says that we're getting ready to turn around. I really don't want to go below that because, I'm in a continuous contract after that. So the trades that I'm taking is on a September contract. But right now, this chart is a continuous contract. So when you look at the eye up here, it'll tell you that this is a continuous futures contract, that the actual trade is on, I think it's on December. It may be on December. Let me look at the actual trade is being placed here. No, the actual trade is being placed on December. Yeah. So we're in Z. So Z is September. And that's a good point, because this is U right here. So I'll delete that. Continuous doesn't matter. It'll place it on the most current, but I'll just bring that up for everybody. Thanks for pointing that out. And then I'll just bring up the December contract. All right, that's why I like using the continuous contract, because it doesn't really matter. It'll put it on the most recent contract, place the order on the most recent contract. All right, so now you can see the order placed on the December contract. But this is the continuous contract. So we're getting that push up on the 30-minute. We have almost divergence, but we're touching the bands on the TDI. It's starting to push up. So it's giving us a retracement. That's the reason why we moved it to break even. We'll probably end up staying below the 21, but if you miss that 8 o'clock, it's pushing back up. So 8 o'clock is reversing a little bit, and it does look like the 30-minute. And let me look at the hour. Yeah, that 30-minute and the hour may reverse back up. All right, 15-minute has a shark fin here, which was here, then gave us divergence. So definitely looks like we'll push back up to that. That's 15-minute 21, which has been an area that we've been retesting. All right, so everybody can see that. You can see the rejections up in that area. So it looks like 8 o'clock is going to push it back up to that area and possibly get rejections off the 21. Now, we have a double top on the, everybody can see that double top that's here. And we marked that off on the lower time frame or on the higher time frame, and we got the double top. The break of that neckline here, of that M pattern, has already been retested. We retested that at the 7 o'clock open. Pushed up, retested that. We're staying below it right now. So still, even if we push up, if we're staying below this, by the time we end, I would still get into those sales. Until that's broken, I would still get into those sales. All right, then 5-minute is heading up, and then 1 minute is heading up, which tells us that price still wants to push back. All right, so that's what we're thinking about here for Nikkei. We're just catching a small sell. Let me turn my stuff back on. Positions. What else do we want? Positions and orders, right? All right, positions and orders is what we want right here. And you can see that price is pushing down and has a little more further to go. But we're in profit. And all I was looking for is 1,000. So we're about 250 away from the goal. And then once it gets down in this area, some great stuff has happened when we got down to that area. When we pushed down into this zone, price has retraced. So that's what we're looking for, is that once price gets down here, we can probably catch the retracement all night. You know, we may be able to go to sleep. That 1 hour's there. What will be working against you is that 4-hour divergence. But we know that 4-hour divergence is regular divergence. It's not hidden, which means that it won't play out for an extended period of time. So when price makes it down here, I like all these liquidity wicks down here. We could possibly push back up. All right, so that's what I got for Nikkei right now. Which is a lot, and it is running, and it's doing well, and it's survived. But let's just see what 8 o'clock does. We're in profit right now, but we moved it to break even. We moved that stop to break even just in case. Okay. Want to shift a little bit and talk about the dollar. This is significant for the dollar. That fallout from the dollar is significant. Really, right now, no reason why. It did get positive news, and I know that different news outlets are going to be reporting the reason why differently. But the fact of the matter is that it's rejecting off of structure. Fundamentally, it doesn't make sense, but structure does make sense. So the structure, it's rejected off of this structure before in this area, and it's doing it again. So we pushed up here, it went in consolidation, now we're selling off, right? And so the dollar, well, the way we got to look at this is how is the let me look at it. Let me explain it from a technical standpoint before I go into the fundamentals. From a technical standpoint, we hit the level of resistance. We knew that the dollar was in trouble because we've been selling off all year, right? Or for the last few months, but we have been selling off of the dollar. We know that 100 is a critical area that we pressed into before, and we broke that 100 mark a few times, right? Over the last couple years, we broke that through that, or that was a support. Excuse me, I'm having issues with my word. That was support before, so we've touched support a few times here, and we've dipped below it one time in the last couple of years, right? And so this sell-off to us says that the dollar is still in trouble. We were saying the dollar's in trouble when it was at 100, and we're not only looking at euro against the dollar, but we're also looking at the dollar against just all forms of investments. So Bitcoin, indices, gold, and whatnot. And dollar's not doing so well in the last quarter. A lot of this stuff, we're in a political year. It's a voting year. So a lot of things are propped up just because it's not going to fall out before people vote. So a lot of things are being propped up. It's like an ibuprofen. The headache's there, but the ibuprofen is not making you feel the effects of the headache. Doesn't mean that the headache's not there. It just means that you're not feeling the effects of it. That's the way I feel about the dollar, is that it's in trouble. We're just not feeling the effects of it because of the political climate that we're in. Now, come after the election and come the first part of next year, I think that's when we're going to see the dollars begin to drop out. And if that begins to happen, we're going to see a lot of different stuff happen. Going into this fourth quarter, I hit my stop. We'll go look at it. Going into this fourth quarter, did it hit my? No, I hit my stop. I was going to say, did it hit my take profit? No, I hit the stop. In profit though, hit stop in profit. So we're fine with that. So we're going to see if this breaks through there, but right now it's challenging it. We got the double tops, it's challenging it. Oh, what stop order? What's going on? Let me take a look real quick. What's going on? Oh, okay, it must have canceled one contract, then canceled the other contract. All right, starting to head back up. So we'll come back to that. I want to finish this conversation on DXY. All right. So where was I? So 100 is what we're looking at. With it falling out and getting good news today and yesterday and still not being able to maintain is very telling that the dollar wants to head down. What in those type of climates you're seeing us hit on gold all-time high. So this red represents all-time high on gold. We hit that and went right past. Right. Fundamentally, it doesn't make sense, but that's where the market is. And so I would look at going forward, now that we have CPI and now that we have PPI that has been released, we had NFP as well. And with that coming out positive for the dollar and the dollar still falling out like this and approaching that $100 mark, that's something to keep an eye on. And I wouldn't necessarily get into gold sales because of that. All right, we may see, and I think somebody mentioned it on our live before, like just imagine 3,000 getting hit on gold, but just from an investment standpoint, that's far away, but just from an investment standpoint, the room for opportunity if the dollar starts falling out and gold being all the way up here, from an investment standpoint, I would start eyeing that as potential. So keep an eye on the dollar, start eyeing that. And yeah, any questions on that so far? Whenever I see fundamentals not really making sense, where the reports aren't really affecting the dollar how it should, some kind of manipulation is going on. there's some kind of interference somewhere that is taken away from the dollar. You could say, well, even though PPI and CPI was positive for the month, over the year it's negative. So it from year to year we have dropped. So that's a case for it. But from year to year, but that shouldn't affect it for this week. When that news hits, we should adjust for it and go up. So something to pay attention to. When things don't make sense, go to gold. That's really the risk on, risk off environment that we just gotta keep thinking about and ingraining in our head. Okay, that's a lot. So hopefully that was added some value for everybody to take a look at that. So let's shift a little bit. I'm gonna go to Nikkei, see if that see what's going on there. We did get out of that trade. It did go and grab my stop loss, and now it's gonna head to take profit. So it usually happens. It's like, do you do you leave it at the stop loss, or? But I like to break. That's just my strategy. I like to break it in profit. I'm fine with taking it out, moving in that direction. But that's what I think is going to happen. Is that we're still coming down. I just wanted to take my 2 contracts, get out of the trade, and then head down. So we're still watching that one. All right, I want to have a discussion with you tonight because we trade a lot, and but I want us to talk about, I want us to start advancing past the beginner talks and really get into the habit of looking at our trades as a business. When we all come here, we're all running our business, and the projections for your business it could be, I don't know what your house is. You determine what your, how to pay your bills for the house and decisions you make. But I really want to gear our mind to start really looking at trading, paying all of our bills, and then moving beyond that. And what does it take to do that? And so what we did for the first 30 minutes of tonight's deal was something that you have to do day in and day out. You have to get good at just finding the trade. So you saw that I found a trade. You saw that I was up $800 or whatever. It stopped me out in profit, but you saw how it was up $800. It came in, caught the 7 o'clock. You saw the analysis and why it was doing that. So to find those day in and day out is pretty simple to do. Not much is going to change. The environment's going to change, but when you've been doing that for a few years, day in and day out, 260 times a year, you've looked at the chart, you found it, whether you're made money or not, you found it, you're pretty successful. You know how to trade. All right. So let's get rid of that as a variable. You have to do that. You have to do your charting time. But beyond that, how does this relate to life? That's what I want to talk about tonight is what you're doing. If you're expending time in doing this, how are you allocating what you're doing, or what kind of trades that you're looking to? You saw that I made $800 tonight, but I didn't take the profit off the table. I let it run and made less. So is that a big deal? Yes or no? Well, it's really a business case. It depends on what your business. And I think you have to start looking at trading. And when we talk about in terms of discipline and whatnot, if you look at it from a business standpoint, your business has a set of rules and whatnot. It will help you with your discipline. All right. And so I want to do something tonight. I want to bring up, and this is the trade idea that we have on Nikkei. So if you have any questions, just let me know. But I want to bring up something else tonight that I want to talk about. And I'm just going to share this. See how I do this. Share. Not slides. I want to share my screen. Stop screen, present screen, share screen. And I want to share the entire screen. Or should I share the window? Which one's better? All right, let's see how big that is. Let me see how big it is. on this. If I do it like this, share. It's about the same size, but that's fine. We'll just do it like this. And yeah, I think everybody can see this. Yeah, you can all see this. Y'all can all see this, right? All right, so this is what I want. I want to talk about the financial statement of the trade, because a lot of times we'll look at charts, but we won't look at the financial statement behind the chart. And so we get excited. We're like, oh, someone made 5,000. Oh, someone made 10,000. Oh, someone made 7,000. And that's good. But Dr. Denise did a devotion this week, Wednesday. If you go back and listen to it, she said something that was very key that I thought was good. But she was talking about your ability or your capacity to reproduce the results you want, right? And so, can you reproduce the results? Can you reproduce the results that you want? If you make 10,000 or if you make 20,000 in one day, can you reproduce that over and over again, right? And most people can't. You know, you get that one windfall, but you can't do it the next day. And so you want to get to a point where in your business, you're able to do the same revenue day in, day out without it being a strain or stress on you. You want to be able to reproduce it day in and day out. And so I want to come off the charts for a little bit. We talked about Nikkei tonight. You know what trade we're looking at. But I want to talk about this business case real quick and answer some questions. So I want to do it like this. Let's just say you have a prop firm account, and this is what I actually do, is that you'll see me say, if I'm in challenge mode or I'm trading a challenge account, my daily goal is $1,000. If it's a funded account, my daily goal is $500. Why? Because I can be a little more aggressive on the challenge accounts. I can average $1,000 a day. On my funded account, just so it's not at risk, I want to average about 500. I may make 200, or I may make 300, or I may make 700. But I can average 500 on the day when you look at the week. But I want to compound that. So let's say on each account in the check, let's just use the funded. I want to use the lesser amount right now so that the trades make sense. That $500 a day on an account, $500 a day may not seem like a lot, like that $800 that I just showed you that we made on Nikkei. I didn't take the profit, but it was up to $800. I just want to show you how easy it is to make that. And you see me do that day in, day out on the lines. And so that is pretty easy. Now, let's say that you have 3 accounts all doing $500 a day. That simple math, it's $1,500 that you'll be making a day. And you can consistently, that's repeatable. It's not 5,000, it's not, in an account, it's not a 7,000, it's not a huge thing that you're looking for. You're not putting yourself in huge risk. You're just making $500. And then you have 3 accounts all doing the same thing, $500. So that's $1,500 a day. If you do that Monday through Friday, you're going to be at $7,500 for the week. But just think about that. One $500 trade on one account is going to be equal to $30,000 a month. And I don't know what you think about that, but how many of you see this as realistic? Like when you're rehearsing, you say, well, I just made 800, or I just made 300, or I just made 500. Are you managing it to the point where it's just small incremental profits that you're making in your account and letting it compound like that? It's very reasonable, right, Jeremy? It's very reasonable. And so 30,000 a month, and then just think about that on a yearly basis, that's 360,000. Now let's just say he was like, Tim, 30,000, I really don't need 30,000, give me 10, right? And so let's just say it was 10, if we're just doing, let's say 350, or excuse me, I can't even do that. Now the math isn't math. I think it's 150. Let's try that. Yeah. let's just do that. 150. Let's just say 175. $175 will get you $10,000 a month if that was your goal. $10,000 a month, 175. And so I know we get excited about, oh, we made a $5,000. Oh, I just made $3,000. Oh, it was a great day. I want us to get in the habit of saying a great day is making $175 in each account. Because if you make $175 in 3 accounts every day, which is so easy to do, and your account never comes at risk of being blown, $10,000 a day, will support a lot of families. Like you'll be able to survive on $126,000 a year. All right, but let's just say that you need a little bit more. You can set this goal. Let's just say it's $300 a day. I'm only looking for $300. That's $900 a day. That's $18,000 a month. I'm making $216,000 for a few minutes of time. Right? That's so sustainable. And what I see is that individuals are trying to hit home runs every night. Like you can't come to Nikai and try to, it's great if it happens, but you don't want to put yourself at risk. 300 is all you need. Now my goal is 500. You know, it's just like, that's so easy to me. It's like 500, but whatever's easy to you. And so 30,000 a month, 500 on 3 accounts. That's all you need. Now I want to shift this over to the challenge mode. Really, I like to pass challenges every 3 to 4 weeks. Now, can you pass it in a week? Yeah, but you can. If you pass it in the week, you're using so much risk that you're blowing more accounts than you're winning. Right, and so if you can grow your accounts by $1,000 a day, you're making $2,000 a week. What I like to do, and I really encourage people to go look at this on Apex, is what I like to do is use, and Terrace is actually the one that turned me on to this, is that on Apex, $150,000 account on Apex is all that you need. $150,000 account will give you $5,000 of drawdown. So your 150K account will give you $5,000 of drawdown, but your target is only $9,000. So if your target is only $9,000, then it would only take you 9 days to pass a $150,000 account. If you're averaging $1,000 a day, it takes you 9 days, every 9 days. So you give yourself some time and say, I'm not going to force 9 days. Just say every 3 to 4 weeks, I pass a $150,000 account. And then when it's funded, I just make $500 out of that $150,000 account. That's all you have to do, right? But I want to show you something of the power of this concept and how scalable it is. I'm going to unhide the rows that I have here, and because I just want to show you how this math works out for you, or works in your favor. I'll put it like that. How it works in your favor. All right, so now, hopefully everybody can see that. And let me do this. Let me make myself a little smaller. All right, Laura, let me do this. Yeah, I'll do it like that, so everybody can see it. And I'll just talk to it. So this is the thing. So let's just use the $500 piece here. I don't have to, if I want more money, I don't have to come here and say, I'm going to try to make $5,000 on this account today. I don't have to do that. All I have to do with your business is, come on, why aren't you? What's going on? Okay. So all I have to do with this is I don't have to get aggressive in the account. If I want more money in the month, I just add an account. So just look at what happens when you add the account. I'm gonna add 500 here. Now I just went from 30,000 to 40,000 a month. By adding one more account, that does $500. And that should be our goal for the year, is not necessarily making more on one account, because that's going to put you at risk. And I find that a lot of people are failing their challenges and blowing accounts because they're trying to make too much out of one account. And really what you should be doing is keep that account at $500, $300. And I really want us to get good, for those that buy into this, I really want us to get good at celebrating the $300 win, the $200 win, the $500 win, and risking only $300, risking only $500, and holding on to the accounts. I really want that to become a norm in the community, because yeah, it's great to see someone make 5,000, 7,000, but how often are they going to do that? Can they do that day in and day out? And so when you talk about building a career or building a business as a trader, it's really about risk management. And so if you want more money, just add the account. And so that's 4 accounts, adds 40,000. But every account that I add is going to add another, it's going to add another $10,000 to my month. If I want an extra $10,000, all I got to do is add another account. Isn't that crazy? If you want to add $10,000 to your month, add one more account. And so really what you should be doing is adding throughout the year, is adding just one more account. You shouldn't be swinging for the fences and risking your accounts that you have. What you should be doing is just adding one more account, with the goal of, and just watch this, out of 20 accounts, if you are, I'm not sure why it's doing. If you, out of 20 accounts, if you are, let me see this. It's not letting me grab it. All right, anyway, let's do it like this. If that was the goal, say it takes you 3 years, you have a 3-year business plan, and you say, by the 3rd year, I'll have my 20th account. That's $2.4 million a year. That's $200,000 a month coming in. And it's not that because you added you made some big, huge trades. It's because you just added one account. That's all it is. And if we can get in the habit of celebrating that versus, the risky trades that, yeah, it'd be great. I mean, it's good for social media that we see individuals make, 100K in one day. That's great. But what we're not seeing is them do that every day, every single day, making 100K. And if you get good at it, yeah, Corey, I mean, you can, as part of your business, you can add a copy trade that makes it more efficient. And that's the goal with business, is that you want to make your business more efficient over time. So yeah, you add different things like copy traders and whatnot, so that it's the same amount of effort, where the more accounts you add, you can trade them all at one time. You can place the same trade and trade it all at one time. But the goal should never be, don't get fooled by those that make $40,000 in one day. Realistically, your business model should say, hey, am I good at making $500? Am I good at making $500? And then keep repeating that over and over again. And some days you're going to make $1,000 days. Some days you're going to have a $3,000 day. You're just going to let the trade run. Sometimes you're going to go to sleep and you're going to wake up. And it's going to be a great day. That's great, but you shouldn't be dependent on that to survive, because folks that I'm coaching aren't surviving off of those big wins. They're surviving off of the incremental small wins that they do every day. And they have to maintain that throughout the year if they want to be successful doing it. And so really examining, the kind of character discipline that will cause you to do these smaller wins, but get in the habit of like, no, $500 today is a good day. $200 today, that's a great day. Because if I can do that over 20 times, even if I can do it over 3 times, that's going to be significant, and I can actually live off of that. And what I really want to see people do is that they're able to do that in the morning session and in the evening session, and they start to do it. Say you get up to your 4th or 5th account, and they're each doing $300 to $500. That you've replaced your income. Not saying you left your job, but you've replaced your income. You're making the same amount that you make on your job. So that if something happens in 2025 with your job, or something comes up and your job is now obsolete, that you have something that's making a comparable wage with your job that is repeatable, that you don't have to make a huge amount of money on and risk a lot, but it's consistent. This is something that I can consistently do day in and day out, right? And so that's what I wanted to share tonight. I want to just wrap our minds around the ability to make these small incremental changes. And so from here, if you look at this trade idea, and I'm just going to put a limit order up just so everybody can see it. And then I'll close out of that. And let's do this. Let's do it at 2. That's what I had on here when we walked in. All right, so everybody can see this. All right, so this has $450 at risk. Just look at this. From this trade idea going from here to here, that's $850. But I would have to have to meet my goal. This is all I would have needed. And how, two limits. And I know it's great. I love waking up to like $3,000. I love waking up, doing Nikkei, waking up to $300. I love doing that. But also, just from longevity standpoint, how consistent can you be coming into night markets and just catching a move from here to here with 2 contracts? You're risking $450, making $500, or you can just pull up above the level and risk $150 and make $500. How consistently could you do that night in and night out? So easy to do that. Wake up in the morning and do that. And then we talk about paying off mortgages. They say if you make 1 extra payment every month, you cut your mortgage payment, or you cut it in half or whatever. Just think about if you had an account that did double, right? You trade in the morning, make 500, trade at night, make 500, then you're doubling it up. How much more you make. And then just think about every month if you made the extra mortgage payment, or let's say you made enough to make 3 extra mortgage payments, how fast we can pay off our debt, how fast we can pay off mortgages. And so don't get so caught up with trading. Don't get caught up in the hype, like the Lambos, the making $1 million and different things. It's obtainable, but do it the responsible way. It's going to take time. It's going to take a strategy, but something that's repeatable every day. And is 5,000 repeatable every day? Well, I haven't seen a lot of people do it. 5,000 a day. This is repeatable, and that's what I want to get in the habit. We should be celebrating. Hey, I made 150. Hey, I made 200. Hey, I made 500. If we're seeing it done every day, right? And so when somebody comes in, they make 5,000, we celebrate that. But do something. We're going to celebrate being established and doing this, consistently every day. And so I urge everybody to come on to these lives and off the lives to go back and look at your business plan, your trading plan, break down what your bills is each month, and saying how many counts do I need between $100 to $500 a day that will pay that bills. It may be for you, because we celebrate, if you make $1 million, become a seven-figure trader in different things, that's great. But you can have 3 accounts and be funded $400,000 and pay all your bills, right? And so there's strategy that can get you there. It's not that far off from where you're currently at. You make one little pivot, and next thing you know, I think you're trying to swing the bat too hard. That's what I'm trying to get to. I've talked to enough people. I think you're trying to swing the bat too hard to hit these big home runs, and you don't need it. Like, you can be consistently profitable at that $200, $500. Now, I'm not trying to cap you. I'm just trying to make you see how realistic it is for you to be a multimillionaire. Like, it doesn't take much for you to be a multimillionaire. How many people do you have to sell to a $500 product to be a millionaire? It's like, what, you got to sell to 200 people or 2,000 people? Well, that means that if my product is a trade that makes $500, how many trades do I have to make 1,000? Look at it that way, because when you start looking at it that way, you say, oh, well, now I have a game plan. I can come in and day out. I can use these evening markets to hone my skills at getting really good at making a $500 trade or a $200 trade. And then if I do that, that's my product. I can do a $200 a day. That's my product. If I can do that 1,000 times, I'm a millionaire. And so we can break this down to achievable steps. And that's where we got to get to. Breaking this stuff down to an achievable step. Leave the pride. I made 5,000, I made 7,000. That's pride. Come on now. Are you doing that every day? Well, then you shouldn't be bragging about it, right? Let's do something that is repeatable every day. And it's great. I have 7-figure funded and all that stuff. That's great. But the payouts, we need to start getting payouts that are paying our bills and paying off our debt. And sometimes that means just having a plan where we're executing, these smaller incremental steps. And over time, it's multiplying. All right. And so, yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. That was on my heart tonight. And that's right. It's very doable. I haven't even seen your comments. I should have been looking at that. Yeah, celebrating meeting daily goals, align with long-term goals. Yeah. This is a practical approach. Yeah. This is the new goal setting tool and mindset realignment. Yeah, and that's all it is, because I think we're just trying to make it too complicated. And trading is not that complicated. It's very practical. It's very repeatable. You can do this day in and day out and be successful at it. And so I really encourage you, after the call or tomorrow or over the weekend, put some numbers down for yourself. And it may not be making $1 million, but can you make $5,000 a month consistently? That's a win. That is a huge win for you. So, take a look at that. Go through it. Go through what you should do for you. I have $500. I know that's repeatable for me. It may be $200, $300. Even if it's $100, that's $10,000 a month. But multiply that over. If you need more, don't try to do more in one account. Put in the 3 to 4 weeks of work to add a new account. And then if you want more money than that, don't try to put one account at risk. Do another 3 to 4 weeks of work to add another account. You know, you just keep this consistent right here. And if you just keep marching along with that, I guarantee you'll be a multi-millionaire. It's the formula for success. And so I want to look at that, take the trading to the next level doesn't mean that you're making a lot on one trade. Taking it to the next level is that, okay, now I'm turning it into a business. Now I'm turning it into a system that's benefiting me. I'm not stressing myself out. You keep doing that, you're going to be a multi-millionaire. All right, that's evening markets for tonight. I appreciate everybody showing up. Let's keep doing this so we can keep growing together. Go back and look at this. Hopefully it made sense to you. In terms of Nikkei, what I will say, what I'll probably end up doing, I'm going to take a look, let it play out a little bit more. Oh, yeah, it worked. I mean, it hit by the original take profit. We're down 0.81%, 8.84%. So, I mean, that trade that we had on here was the right trade. I think this was the trade. So, I'm not sure if anybody caught that. I think I was pulled up a little bit. So, it was a 1 and 2. So, it was right here. So, it just hit that take profit piece. But I do think it's coming down to the trail. I think it's going to grab liquidity in here. And that 4 hour is still playing out. That 4 hour divergence right there is still playing out. So I think it's going to still continue to fall. So that was a good trade tonight. That was a good trade tonight. So, all right, everyone, I'm going to jump. We do have Power Hour tomorrow. We'll see everybody. That will be at 8 a.m. Central, 8 to 9 with Dr. Denise and Nedra. Power Hour is great. You don't want to miss that. We'll jump off and we'll see you in the morning. All right, everyone. Have a good one.